Good morning, Parkway. My name is Marshall. I'm the pastor of adult discipleship here, and I'm really glad to tell you this morning that this coming Wednesday, August 11, Wednesday night activities will resume here on the campus of Parkway Baptist Church. So we want to invite you and your family to come out. At 5:30, our fellowship meal starts, and at 6:30, we'll have classes for the whole family. We're going to have Kids Zone for the children. We're going to have the midweek meetup for our student ministry, and we'll have several adult Learn4ife classes that we'll be offering. And speaking of those Learn4ife classes, here's a little bit of information about the ones that will be offered this semester.
If you've turned your television on in the last few years, you have noticed that we have a country that is divided. And here at Parkway, we want to make sure that we are not dividing along with it. So we want to offer classes. How should we respond to current issues happening in our culture? How do Christians respond to the Black Lives Matter movement? How do we respond to critical race theory and social justice? We want to make sure we respond appropriately, and in order for us to do so, we have to discuss it. So that's what my classes will be discussing.
Our culture is confused to the point of chaos on so many issues. We're excited to continue the conversations that Cody begins, turning our attention to a couple of other topics. We'll look first at gender and sexuality. There's so many mistaken ideas about who we are and how God made us and how we are to live our lives in our contemporary culture. So we'll talk about those, but more importantly, we'll turn our attention to the scriptures to let that inform our ideas and even talk about how we minister to folks in such a difficult time. And then we'll also look at media and technology. They play an important role in our lives, but can sometimes overwhelm and overtake them. So we'll talk about appropriate boundaries and the way to use these technologies without allowing them to divert our lives away from things that are most important. So we'll have these conversations in F131. We hope you'll join us. And as we alternate in teaching, we'll also join, in the weeks we don't teach adults, join our students for their midweek meetup, and we'll be talking about these same issues with them.
What's the gospel and how do I share it? This is a difficult question for many believers today, and so I'm excited to have a class this fall in room F132 called Evangelism Training, where we're going to look deeply at what is the gospel and then practically how do I share it. The class will lead up and culminate in putting to practice what we learn. So I hope that you'll join me in F132 this fall for Evangelism Training.
What are the core beliefs and practices of the Christian faith? That's a question I'll be exploring in the class that I'll be leading this fall called The Fundamentals of the Faith. We'll meet in room F128, and whether you're a new believer looking to lay a firm foundation for your faith, or maybe you've been a believer for a long time and you're aiming to become reacquainted or reestablished in these core truths, I want to invite you to come and be a part of this class. We're going to talk about things like who is God, who is Jesus, and who is the Holy Spirit, and what is His ministry? What is the Bible, and how does that work? What is prayer, and how does that work? And many other topics like that. So I want to encourage you to come out, whether you go to the evangelism training or the conversations and cultural issues or the fundamentals of the faith. Hope you'll plug into a Learn4ife class this fall and bring your whole family. We hope to see you at 5:30 for the meal and at 6:30 for the classes beginning this Wednesday night, August 11.